I'm Enrique Latoyson, your 3-minute lawyer. This video is brought to you by Commentary Creations. So the first thing I want to tell you is, as you can see, the best 3 minutes of your week. Now, my producer, Kaylee, would argue sometimes 4 or 5 or 10 minutes of your week. But anyway, we have these really cool shirts, and this is what I'm sporting today. So we're going to talk about the Richard Nicoletti case, the case in Philadelphia that just ended in a mistrial. So what is this case about? So let's go back to June of 2020. The world was on fire. George Floyd, everyone is arguing, fighting, different things are taking place, protests. People are trying to make the world a better place. Some people are trying to make the world a worse place. And during that time, I actually hosted a town hall with some very important people in trying to talk through some things. It was actually a great experience. You can Google it, you can find that. But back to this. So Richard Nicoletti was a SWAT team Philadelphia police officer. This took place on 676, the highway. At that time, there were protests going on, and during the protest, there were police officers that were on the highway. There were protesters on the highway. The highway was shut down, and during that time, there's a very infamous video where you see Officer Nicoletti going up to those protesters. They're kneeling down. He pepper sprays them in the face. A couple of them removed their masks, and he sprayed them right in the face. That happened. Then what took place? So what took place after that was the mayor and the chief of police, they got together, district attorney's office was upset, charges were filed. And those charges were filed against Officer Nicoletti at the time, saying that he committed simple assault, reckless danger to another person, oppression, and possession of instrument of crime. All misdemeanors, but he was charged. And at the time, the officer indicated that this was his training. He was doing what he was supposed to do. He also indicated at the time that he was protecting a state police officer that was trapped, on that highway at that time, and he was trying to get the protesters to disperse so they wouldn't harm any officer. So, as you know, one of my videos is preliminary hearing. He gets charged. He has a preliminary hearing. What takes place? Judge throws the case out. Judge says, it apparently, based on the evidence, that the officer was, doing his training, he was doing what he was supposed to do. So, prosecution has a right to refile the charges. They file a motion. Preliminary hearing took place May of 2021. Charges are dismissed. And then in October 2021, they get reinstated. District Attorney's Office files a motion, the charges get reinstated. So from October 21 all the way until May of 2023, he's waiting to go to trial. Now trial takes place. So, this trial's been going on all last week for the most part, and during that trial, there were plenty of people that testified. There was a lot of people going back and forth. You typically pick 14 jurors, 12 that are going to be on the panel, 2 that are extra just in case. And really weird in this case, but what ended up happening was a couple of the jurors of the original 12 couldn't make it, or they had some personal reasons. That kicked in the other 2 alternates, which then got back to 12. One of them got dismissed for some sort of conduct which has been kept secret. And then they got down to 11 jurors, which is really interesting. And when that happens, and it's actually happened to me before in Philadelphia during a jury trial, the judge will basically take a poll and say, hey, listen, prosecutor, listen, defense attorney, we're down to 11. Do you want to do with the 11, or do you want this case dismissed and we got to start over? So all the parties chose to go with 11. And after a couple more days, the case ended in a hung jury. They were not able to come to a decision. So in a case like this, when you deal with the George Floyd type case, it does not surprise me that this case ended in a hung jury. You're talking about a guy who had a preliminary hearing, it was dismissed, and then a different judge reinstated the charges. Then you get to trial, you have a jury trial, and no one can come to a decision. Because what I come to find is this case is kind of a big picture when you really look at it of what's going on in society today. Either you think this officer did what he's supposed to do and that these protesters were a bunch of hoodlums, or you didn't agree with that, or you thought these protesters were exercising their right to free speech and they were peacefully protesting, and the officer is the bad guy. All you gotta do is look at the Bud Light controversy right now, and you can see that nobody can agree on anything right now. So when you take a case like this, and when you look at it from a society point of view, Not surprising, not 12, not 13, not 14, but actually 11 people in this case were not able to come to a unanimous decision. Right now, prosecution says they're going to retry this case again. Wait to be seen. Regular Toyson, your 3-minute lawyer.